Hey, welcome everybody to another episode of Can We Talk. We have a full house today.
We got a full house.
A very full house. We got the usual suspects, Shane and Anthony, and we're also here with guest host Paige, and we have Calvin from Leading Questions.
Calvin Moore.
He's joining us today.
Hey, thanks for having me.
No, thank you for coming.
Paige didn't say anything.
Oh,
Right,
hi.
what's going on, Paige?
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being around. You know, hey now,
Yeah.
it's our 69th episode.
Nice.
69, dude.
Noise.
69th. That's crazy. It's going by so fast, y'all. What, 2 years? A year and a half?
I don't even get the whole 69 reference. Why is that special? 69.
It's just,
If you don't get it, you don't
just
get
69.
I guess, whatever.
But it's not like an awesome position.
I mean,
Speak for yourself.
It's
it.
Right,
We were
right.
good with the innuendo, but then she had a big split. Like, it's not like awesome.
I don't like it personally.
to whom? Right.
You can do it on your side. You can if you do it on the side, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's like a competition.
It's a competition.
Ooh,
I think, but it's a competition. Everyone wins.
I'm very competitive. You understand?
Yo, but
my daughter is watching. Hi, Jordan.
Oh shoot, Jordan, close your eyes, cover your ears.
It's just a number right after 68, right before 70.
Right, it's
That's all that matters.
There's nothing. Yeah, don't worry about that, Jordan.
That's all that matters, Jordan.
But I'm glad Anthony recruited Calvin. I know Calvin, you were coming from another podcast where you were taking some drinks. You know, you're feeling a little good. Some
I know what you're talking about. Never touched alcohol in my life. This is a
So he's
Verner's
sober
right
right
here.
now.
Verner's.
But I'm glad you were to make it, y'all. This is going to be a fun episode. We got a free for all going.
Yes, Calvin is drinking Verner's and he's not sick.
I know that's great. Who does that? Like Burners isn't
I
that
love
good,
ginger ale.
but it's not that good when you're not sick though. I feel like that's just it cures
disagree.
all. What?
I disagree. I like
So you-
ginger ale.
It's really good. It's not too filling, and I mean, you got your Canada Dry, which is terrible.
Yeah, that's horrible.
And then there's that other one that I really, really hate.
Which one is that?
There's some other ginger ale that's terrible. Seagram's. Seagram's
Oh.
is gross.
Yes,
Yeah, it's not the best.
Objectively gross. If you like it, you're a horrible person. Right?
I will say Burners is the
Verner's
best
good.
out of all of them.
Verner's
You're
is
right.
is.
I
But
wouldn't.
not Diet Verner's. Diet Verner's is objectively gross as well.
That's because any diet drink is horrible.
Okay.
I don't.
Yeah.
Hey, well,
All the
okay.
aspartame.
Yeah, she's drinking that Diet Mountain Dew over there. Okay.
Right, sorry about that,
That's cool.
guys. All right, let's get into current events. I want to talk about another tragedy. I hate current events because it's always negative. But there was another shooting in Virginia Beach yesterday. A coworker shot and killed 12 people at a municipal building in Virginia Beach. And what's going on? What's up with this gun control issue? It seems like, we're banning women's rights to, get an abortion. We're banning LGBTQ rights, but we're afraid to ban guns. Why? What's up with that? What can we do? Because it's kind of crazy. I think this is like the 50th mass shooting or something. And again, I don't know how they clarify mass shootings.
Any more than three.
Any more than three?
Three people is considered a
So
mass shooting.
150 this year alone. So it's a problem. But for some reason, we're still we beat around the bush in terms of addressing the issue at hand. And I think people are still afraid to just go ahead and ban it. I mean, I don't want to ban guns altogether, but I still think there needs to be some type of, regulation that makes it more difficult, right, to get a firearm. But again, this continues to happen, and it's a tragedy. It's a tragedy for sure.
Yeah, I think that for me, we've had on my show we had a woman on by the name of Nicole Beatty. She ran for public office in a really hoity-toity area of Michigan here, and she ran as a Democrat in a very pro-Republican, pro-gun area, and she ran on a sensible gun control platform. She lost, but she didn't lose by much, which is interesting. So people are thinking about this kind of thing. But I think when it comes to what do we do with these kinds of situations, I think that the problem is most people are looking at gun control as not just a right that's enshrined in the Constitution, right? It is a God-given right. Right?
Yeah.
God said that we can have guns. Wait, what? Is that what Jesus said? I don't know.
Right, is that in the Ten Commandments?
I know which God you're referring to because you hate Muslims. So I know which one you're talking about, and I don't think that's in there. But I think that there is this idea that it's so enshrined within the American psyche, God, guns, and all that jazz, that
Paul's favorite weapon was an AK-47.
Right, you see
absolutely,
Paul
right?
just spraying up.
So when it comes to this kind of thing, I don't know that there's going to be any kind of progress. But I get both sides of the argument. So where I'm going, hey, look, somebody brought up, hey, somebody just stabbed a bunch of people in Japan the other day.
Yeah.
wounded 19 people. Like, did nobody have a chair? Like, he had a knife, right? But if he had a gun, he would have killed a lot more people.
Yeah,
he only
exactly.
killed one and wounded 19.
Yeah.
But I get the idea of both sides of that argument because I'm going, I want sensible gun control. There are a bunch of laws on the record as to what we should do. But then I also understand the way the argument is used by pro-gun people. Like, hey, look, some bad person went in and shot a bunch of people. I'm a good person. My kids have had guns since they grew up. They're okay. Why do I have to be penalized? It's the same thing that we do as black people. We're like, wait, that one black person went and did something terrible.
Right.
Why are you blaming all black people because of that one idiot who did he? Now, all of us would be like, hey, look, you're making us all look bad right now. But gun control people would also, pro-gun people would also say, hey, you're making us all look bad right now because we're fucking responsible.
Yeah.
But I do think that when it comes to being black, just being black doesn't kill a bunch of people. So when we're talking about guns, the side of that is, yeah, I get it. Pro-gun people, you are responsible. But yeah, this one person did ruin it for everybody because he killed 19 people. Can we just admit that? So I think that's kind of the ongoing struggle that we're dealing with is how do we address the fact that this issue is literally killing people?
Yeah, and I agree with everything you said, but I also think that we need to sort of figure out, again, when the amendment was made, the right to bear arms, you had people with muskets, right? You didn't have semi-automatic weapons that could kill people in seconds, like 10 people in seconds.
Tanks.
Or tanks, right?
Absolutely.
So there needs to be some type of way for us to realize, like, hey, you can keep your hand arms, your handguns, you can keep your rifles, but these semi-automatic weapons, these machines for war, there's no point in having them, right? And I think that could be a justifiable step, towards alleviating these issues. Even though the guy yesterday, I think he had a handgun he used, it was like a 45. But still, a lot of the mass shootings have occurred with semi-automatic weapons. So I think that's a reasonable
Your
step to make.
AR-15s tend to be your gun of choice.
Right. And that's all I'm saying. Like, let's just be sensible about it. We don't need machine guns. There's no point. You can keep your rifles, your firearms to hunt. That's cool. Other than that, we got to ban it, at least from my point of view. But again, that's a debate that will never be solved because people will continue to fight about it. But we need to sort of figure out what real steps, tangible steps we can create. I do want to kind of switch bases though a little bit and touch on the Mueller report. So Mueller came out. He officially resigned from the special counsel, and now he released a statement saying that he cannot, if he would have knew Donald Trump did not commit obstruction, he would have said it. And so now you have a lot of Democrats who are looking at this as the ball is in their court now. It's time to go ahead with the impeachment proceedings. And you have other Democrats who kind of want to play the waiting game a little bit. They don't want to, jump the gun. They still want to just wait for more evidence. Where do you all align yourselves? Do you think we should wait before they begin impeachment proceedings, or should we go ahead and just get it going?
Is that a real question?
It's a lot of people had a debate because you got to think about the long-term game, right? So in 2020, the election's coming up. If we go about the impeachment proceedings and the House impeaches them, but the Senate doesn't, what can that do in terms of the Democratic candidates? Is that going to make them more vulnerable to defeat? Is it going to strengthen the base? You got to look at it that way. Any thoughts?
I still can't believe it's been 4 years.
It's been almost 4 years.
They've investigated him most of his time in office.
Yeah.
I feel like, it's something that needed to be done, but there are other issues. Like, there are other things that need to be done. Like, and this is always placed at the top of the list. I was watching MSNBC, which is poison if you watch too much of it.
Yeah, it's any television, right?
So and there was a Democratic congresswoman, I can't remember her name. She said she gets stopped in a grocery store and people ask her about impeachment. I'm like, really?
Wow.
After they did their taxes this year, that was their main concern.
Yeah. There's so many issues that I think are important that we do need to that need our attention more than this impeachment thing, because you have basic human rights that are being violated right now, all across the country. There's whether the right to have an abortion, the right to come to this country, the right to be, LGBTQ, so I think that
rights
workers'
were
rights
gutted by the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
And it was just a blip on the news, like, oh yeah, they can put an arbitration clause in your employee contract. It's constitutional. Now on to this investigation, like no, like that has gutted workers' rights and set us back about 150 years.
Yeah. And that's the sad part. Is like it's coming at us all type of ways, and we got to sort of figure out what's the hill we want to die on. Is this impeachment hill, or is it more important things like all these tariffs that are being pushed by Trump administration and are ultimately hurting farmers? It's hurting working class people.
And they got reparations. Farmers got reparations.
I mean, the bad thing is Trump in 2020. Trump in 2020 wins the election again.
I said
that's the reality situation.
Right.
Trump will win the election again. So when it comes to the Mueller report, him resigning, he's obviously resigning because the investigation's over. That makes sense. Your job's done, so there's no reason for you to stay in this position anymore. I like his response was basically like per my email.
Right. if y'all read this
I
thing.
said like, he didn't say anything that was not in the Mueller report to begin with.
Right.
He said if we could impeach the president, I'm not saying we would have, but basically it was illegal to do so, so we didn't do that. It was not an option on the table. But I think the situation when we're talking about the long game, as you said, do we impeach the president, take that in the 2020 election where you got a bunch of seats up for election, not just the president.
Right.
I think that any kind of impeachment procedure is going to, or proceeding is going to galvanize his base.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And I don't know that it's going to galvanize our base. I also think that the sad thing is, as much as we don't like this guy and the rights that are being trampled on at this point, when you look at the economy, most of the people are looking at the economy and going, well, the economy is not so bad. The economy is actually doing fucking great. And that's the terrible situation. Is that is the number one thing that people look at. It's like, hey, I know that your gay rights are being trampled, and you feel terrible for being Mexican right now. Black people, it's a wrap. But my tax return was nice, and so I look at that. I'm going, Donald Trump wins in 2020. I just think that he does. I don't think that we have anybody that can run that is going to beat him. I'm notoriously wrong for being. I'm notoriously bad at these kind of predictions, so I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Everybody is.
Yeah, but I would. The way I'm looking at it, I'm going, the economy is so strong. It's going well. I do base a lot of that on Obama's work, but I think that he's doing well enough on the economy that that's what I think wins him the election. So all the other stuff that we're looking at, I'm going, the impeachment proceedings, we could focus on that. It doesn't matter. Everybody's going to go, it's the economy, stupid, and I got a higher tax return than I did last year. Yeah. So, fuck your civil rights right now. I got a better. I'm sorry. I don't know if it's a family friendly show. I just swore. I just swore. Okay, I'm sorry.
Fine.
Okay, all right. My show we can swear a lot. So
I mean, don't go off the top. But,
No, I mean I use my big boy words most of the time. I'm just saying.
Right.
I mean, but the economy, you have a point. I think right now it's doing well. My fear is in the next 2 years is going to be, it's going to crash. Just as we see, there's always a cycle of, boom and bust.
Crash like 2008 crash?
I think so.
Okay, all right.
I think so. I think you're getting to the point where, especially with some of the policies he's creating right now, the tariffs are going to have a huge negative impact. Like, think about
like I get what he's trying to do. I just don't think he's doing it the right way because you have to undo NAFTA. But can you undo NAFTA?
I mean, it's been undone. It is undone already.
It's undone now.
They redid the whole thing. They redid the whole thing already.
Yeah.
And both Canada and both Mexico are saying that this is actually a good deal. So I don't like. What do you do when you're like, this is terrible, but the other countries involved are like, actually, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, oh no. Okay. I don't like this guy so badly, but
right.
I don't know.
And that's the thing they're trying to push too. So they're trying to push for at least the Republican side is like, hey, the economy's good. People are in terms of economics, like people are a little bit happier. They're happier than they were in the past. Again, but that stuff is so fickle though. It can really change next year. You would never know. Like it could be another crash, it could be another recession. And my biggest kind of fear is that if Trump doesn't win the 2020 election and a Democrat is put in place, that then you're going to see sort of the economy sort of fall apart, and then they're going to blame the Democrats again. Like, oh, what did you all do? But I mean, it is what it is. I'm kind of sick of politics. We talk about this whole thing all the time.
We should
now.
have current events last.
I know, because it's so depressing, though.
It was such a fun show. Let's end on this
I've had
bad
that
note.
revelation right now.
It's so depressing, though. We start off on this.
No,
this
you're doing
negative,
the right way because you end on a
Yes.
high note. Hey, let's talk about hip hop.
Right. With that being said, let's make that transition over.
Well, I at least want to say with the tariffs, get all the stuff you need for your house now off Amazon because that tax is going up.
Get your
Man, fuck
avocados.
Amazon. They
Get your
put my package in front of my garage.
in front of your
Amazon,
garage. Though? Hold on.
eBay, everything.
That's
But all right.
yeah.
So you listen to that new YG, Shayna?
Absolutely not.
What? How are you gonna not listen?
I did not listen to
Hey,
that
you didn't
YG.
listen to it either.
I listened to Stay Dangerous and I didn't.
I
like that.
didn't.
Oh, come on, y'all.
I didn't even try to. But no offense to YG, it's just that's just personal.
Yeah.
I might.
Why is it personal? I don't understand.
Oh, it's only personal because I personally don't like him.
Okay, I'm like, did he do something to you?
What did YG do to?
I mean, he's okay.
He stole my Amazon package from in front of my garage.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Right.
Yeah, he's
Oh, my
okay.
God.
I just, I'm not a huge YG fan. I think he's as a person probably cool, but his music is not my.
now, if he were your friend, would his music suddenly be your thing?
Yes, I would
Okay,
be completely
right,
biased.
right. Just so
You
we're
gotta be
clear on
loyal
that.
to the homies.
You
You gotta be loyal to
gotta
the
support the
homies.
people, right?
Yep.
I did hear something though. I did hear that Apple was thinking about getting rid of iTunes, and like that's kind of an end of an era right there. I know.
crazy.
Shayna is an Apple Music customer, but for people like me that just like to, I guess, buy the music once in a while, I mean, that's the end of an era right there.
Yeah.
They're just breaking the app into its component parts. So there'll be a separate music app, a separate TV app, a separate podcast app, instead of all in one monolithic iTunes app.
So
Okay, I like that.
Well, podcasts are already separate. Podcast already has its own thing.
Not on the Mac.
Oh.
True story. Okay, on my phone it does, but okay.
Yeah,
got it.
but you don't have iTunes on your phone. You have the iTunes Store, but
Yes. Okay.
Oh.
I have Apple
Okay,
Music.
all right,
got it.
that's good because I was a little panicking for me. I'm like, man,
we'll know
I don't
more.
want to
Apple
go the
Music.
ski mask way.
We'll know more. We'll know
man.
more tomorrow at
Like,
1
oh,
o'clock.
damn. Now,
Oh, is it
now I
keynote
don't
tomorrow?
have to pay $129 for a single anymore.
Yeah, I still pay that student rate though. That $5.99 student rate. It
I
is the
have-
best.
6 people on mine.
Right, I
Apple
got
Music.
6 people. God.
But for six people for $15,
Yeah, that's
Right.
That's
can't beat that with a
good
bag.
So you don't like YG? I'm adding him to my Apple Music.
Right, just because.
I
Let's
don't
be
hate
honest,
him.
out of
I'm
spite.
just not-
I don't even know who this. He's on his 4th album. I'm like, I don't even know who the fuck this guy is.
know YG.
He's not bad.
Who this
He's not
person
bad.
is?
Uh,
Who
No,
this
he's-
person is?
Nice West Coast gangster rap.
Yeah.
Okay,
pretty
all right.
This
good.
is not my forte.
Got it. Okay.
Any other thing music related? Oh,
Any concerts? Go ahead.
all right. So this is kind of television and music related. So there's a TV show on NBC called Songland. Have y'all seen it?
I've heard of it.
Oh, it's the new one where they're doing
Yeah.
their songs.
Yep, it's
Right,
the
okay,
singer-songwriter. So singer-songwriters have the opportunity to, showcase their work in front of these artists. So last week it was John Legend. He was the person that they were trying to create a song for. And then at the end, whoever wins, they actually record their song and put it on iTunes. So it's pretty cool. It's a cool concept. Like, I liked it. It was one
I
of those
wonder
things.
what that contract looked like.
Right.
That's my thing. Like, are they
They
probably
get
not giving nothing.
Probably.
Get pennies.
No, so that's
They
kind of
don't
a
get
cool
anything,
like spin on it.
Well, the people who write the songs make the most money.
Well,
Sure.
That's
probably
where your
not for
money
the
is.
Show, though.
Yeah, like
Since
a
it's the
reality
show, it would just be like, oh.
Well, I don't know how the show
gift
goes,
is-
but I'm turning
Right.
in
This
terms of
person
music
sings a song.
industry. If you look at like the Beatles, the Beatles, Paul McCartney is rich because he wrote all those songs.
Right.
Now, if you look at Beyonce, the people that are being paid off Beyonce, if you look at like all the single ladies, that song, right? All single ladies. There were like 15 songwriters on that, and they're all getting paid on that. That's where the money is in the music industry, is actually the songwriting.
That's amazing to
So-
me.
Yeah.
How like a 3 or 4 minute song can be written by 15 people.
Yeah,
like,
and
I've always
the
been
fact that the
fascinated by
lyrics
that.
are
I'm not
all
being
the single
funny. Like, I've
ladies.
always been fascinated.
Right. It's like all
It
the
is
single ladies repeat,
fascinating.
repeat.
It's like,
Right.
oh,
I think we should say that again.
oh,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
okay,
yeah,
two
yeah.
more times.
All right, that's Marquise's all the single ladies.
Okay, I got one.
At that 3
mine.
times.
Yeah,
Run the money up.
Hey, I would love to be in that boardroom just sitting back like, all right, y'all, all the single ladies. Just say that 5 times.
credit it to 5 different people.
Give me
each
my
line,
money.
right? But that's how it works. That's where the money is. So the people on those shows are going to get paid more than your people on American Idol.
Oh. But you know they probably gonna screw them over, knowing the industry.
yeah.
They be like, hey, we're gonna pay you, a one-time $5,000, check.
Yeah.
Like,
And
It's crazy.
The gift is John Legend sings your song.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
it.
You get to be on television.
That's pretty hot.
That's pretty much
I mean,
it.
that is pretty high. I would take that.
I would take that too, yeah, because you could blow up from that.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're gonna get some calls.
Yeah,
You're gonna get
for
some
sure.
calls.
For real.
'Cause who doesn't love John Legend? So.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can sing anything. You can sing a
Yeah.
phone book.
Take
I'm
it.
not a big fan,
You
but
know,
if I was
Chrissy-
a friend with John Legend, I'd probably like his music.
Right. I'm not that close with John Legend.
All right, that's it for Calvin. You gotta go.
You keep stealing my packages. All right,
Go
I'm
home,
done.
Joe.
I'm done.
Go to bed, Joe.
Right.
No. Is there anything else?
Any new,
On the music
any new
side?
albums drop?
There's been a
didn't-
few, but I wanted to kind of shift the conversation to you because you had just dropped a new short film.
No,
It's
Oh.
not yours.
Oh yeah.
You want to tell us about
let's
that?
hear this page.
Sure. I'll tell you guys about it. I mean, it's not all that new. We shot it last year, and I just thought I would, throw it out there. It's been on YouTube for a minute. But basically, it's just about this this white guy, black girl in a relationship. The girl brings her boyfriend to her family's house for the first time, and obviously something very dumb happens. He slips up talking to her cousins and says the N-word.
Oh.
Oh shit.
He just slipped that out,
Oh, yeah.
And she obviously is very upset. She breaks up with him afterward. And that it's it was meant to be like a conversation piece. That's all. Like, why? I mean, I just wanted to see like people's reactions. I had put it on YouTube a couple of months ago, and I started noticing, like people are actually like watching it and commenting on it. I'm like, oh, it's not. But
Right. Never read the comments on anything, please.
I don't mind, because that's what I made it for. Because what else? What else would I make it for?
Right.
But-
Right.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I
For the
mean,
people.
something like that type of conversation to be sparked. But yeah, so that's pretty much what that was about.
Okay.
It was just the whole being in a relationship with two
What's the
different
name
races.
of your film?
It's called "It's Not Yours"
Oh.
because he said the word.
And it's not his.
Well,
Yeah.
let's campaign to get this on Netflix real quick, y'all. Everyone
It's only
comment.
like 6 minutes, so it's not really.
Well,
Yeah.
it could
I mean,
spur
they
into something
giving
else.
money away. So
Seriously, because
Yeah.
Netflix, they had released at least like 3 or
Oh.
4 movies over the past couple of days.
Right.
Like,
Oh my god.
They killing it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, it was just an excerpt of this series that I'm actually working on that Anthony is going to help me out with called Ghetto. But it's a play. The whole series is going to be like a web TV series based on the idea of all of these ghetto, I guess. Help me out here.
people.
Basically,
Not people, but
Shayna has spoke about this too. So it's basically, here's the meat and potatoes of like the theme of the story. So when someone says, "Oh, that's so ghetto," it's kind of challenging what that means. It's like, okay, so like, when did ghetto become an adjective? When it's really a place,
Right.
Yeah.
people live.
Yeah.
And it's really just centering on this one character who living in the ghetto, he chooses to he has his lifestyle surrounded by where he lives, but it doesn't define who he is as a person. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Like that.
So that's coming soon, but not too soon. So
I'm excited for that.
yeah.
If y'all need any writers,
Actually, I do, because I wrote the pilot and I'm getting some help on the rest of the season, but I'm not too keen on writing a lot. So I've been looking to pass off, give lots of people writing credits, even
That's what's up.
for people who are looking to direct things.
oh, that's
and
awesome.
Just hop into,
She's-
the film industry.
She's selling herself short. She is a great storyteller. She is a good writer. But yeah, the show is looking for new writers as well to help out flesh the whole thing out.
Awesome.
Thanks for that plug.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. That's
No
pretty. That's
problem,
cool.
No problem.
Yeah.
And so, like for you, do you typically write like one, either small short show a year, 1 or 2 a year? Like, how do you?
It's actually been going that way. So I had my first short film that I wrote when I was graduating college in 2014.
Okay.
So as soon as I got out, I was like, oh, I want to really make this happen. So I actually took that script and I shot it. We had cast for it. And so then we premiered it in 2016. So then after that, I made a feature film, in the summer of 2017, which is coming out in this August.
Awesome.
That's a faith-based film called Chasing After You. And then last summer, I made It's Not Yours. Then in the fall, I made another short film called Fortunate.
Okay.
To be coming soon too.
So what we're gonna do? We're gonna link.
busy.
We're gonna link these short
He's
films.
working.
Let's link these to the website or to the Facebook page so everyone can see it.
Okay.
Cause I'm interested too. I want to take a look at these.
Okay, yeah, for sure. Definitely. So my Facebook page is The Brianna Films. So it's www.facebook.com/THEBRIANNA Films.
Awesome.
And yeah, so all my work should be there.
Who's Brianna?
That's my middle name, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Well-
everybody, a lot of people that come to me for work always say, "Hey, Brianna,"
It's
and
like,
for a minute I don't respond because I'm like, "Oh, yeah, hey." So
Well, that's
Oh,
awesome.
see, what if that was her side baby?
Well, thank you for sharing that. Anthony, let's get into your 2 cents. I know you said a lot of movies that came out.
Man, I've seen a lot since we last spoke, man. I mean, can we touch on the Calvin? You a Game of Thrones fan?
Absolutely not.
All right, well, we'll
Not
postpone
enough
that.
black people.
You need a few more.
We'll postpone that.
Could
All
use
right.
3 or 4 more.
could use about 10 more.
But I did hear you saw Brightburn. I could talk about Brightburn. I could talk about that with you.
All right, so okay, we can start with Brightburn. So I saw Brightburn, which was to me
Extremely dark.
extremely dark, but a great, it's a great twist of like what if Superman was evil? Mm-hmm. Instead of seeing the birth of a hero, we're seeing the birth of a villain, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's written by the Gunn brothers. I think they're related to James Gunn because he produced it.
Yeah, they're his brothers, and then he produced it. Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, you know the story. Superman crashed down on a farm in the in this little ship thing. So you got the same premise there. Obviously, the kid's name is not Superman, and they raised this young kid, but he's raised to be a villain, not a hero. Superman was always born to be a hero. This kid wasn't, and he has his own kryptonite. He has his own run-ins with people at school, bullies and just complicated relationships and such that form him into the villain that he becomes. It's pretty good, man. It's well told.
Yeah, I was a fan of it. I don't remember the kryptonite thing. Did he have a weakness?
He did I don't want to ruin it, but
Okay, all right. Don't
yeah.
do that then. But no, I went in knowing. I mean, the preview lets you know full on what would happen if Superman landed in the exact same situation, little farm in Smallville, Kansas, and then was a terrible person. What would that be like? And DC played around with that as a comic with the issue of Red Sun,
yeah,
where he lands in Russia. He lands in communist Russia. He's raised with communist ideas. Now that ended differently, where he ends up still kind of standing up for truth, justice, in the American way at the end. But with this, the kid's evil.
Ain't no games.
Beginning to end.
Yeah.
He's straight up.
Yeah.
evil.
Correct. He's a terrible person. I do like that they had. I won't give away the end of it. I'm going to kind of give away the end of it, but they set it up for an evil Justice League in a way,
Yeah.
right? The exact opposite of the Justice League. So I thought it was very, very well done. Like you said, it was dark. It was very, very dark. But you knew going in what sandbox you were playing in.
Yeah.
Right.
This is if all things considered, what would happen if Superman was an evil person?
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it is. They played around that sandbox of the alliteration of his name. I can't remember what the kid's name is in this movie, but
Brandon.
it's just but it was BB. It was BB like Clark Kent or Lex Luthor, same
Brendan
kind of deal,
Breyer.
right? So they play Brendan Breyer.
Yes.
So I thought it was well done. I don't know if the acting was super fantastic.
The young actor was pretty good.
The
Yeah,
kid was
I thought
great,
he
but
was
everyone
great.
else is just kind of like, eh.
I don't know, man. I like my man from The Office, Pam's ex-fiance, who played the father.
Was it his uncle?
He's not Star-Lord, though. I don't know.
No. His uncle was somebody else. But you had Elizabeth Banks as the mom.
Yeah.
I think she did pretty good. I didn't mind the acting.
I went and saw it with my brother. We did enjoy it. We enjoyed the premise. I would love to see them go further based on the after-credit scene. I would love that.
That all goes is how much this film sells. Because Hollywood, if it sells, then they'll go for it.
Yeah.
Well, do we know
gotta
how
take a
it
look.
did in sales?
Not yet. I mean, is it Monday? Because it came out this week, right?
Let's see.
Last weekend? Last weekend.
Opening weekend
It was last weekend, I think.
made $7 million. Grossed 11. million so far.
It's modest. It depends.
Yeah.
It depends on how much it took to make it. Like if they broke even, then maybe. If they didn't, then.
But we're also in a day and age where, hey, that
It
movie
took
can come
$7
out.
million to make.
Yeah, it came out of the theater.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's going to do enough to make. It's going to break even. If it's not considered a success, guess what? Netflix or Disney Plus are going to come along and say, hey, what can we do? Can we make the sequel on our
Disney
thing?
ain't gonna touch this movie.
Disney.
It's too dark for them.
It's
way
too dark
too
for
dark.
Disney.
Disney
Disney
made
ain't
the
gonna touch
movie.
this.
Disney made the movie.
They did.
They own the parent company that made the movie. So it's like, all right. So I don't know. I mean,
It could always be a cult classic. You never know.
It will.
I would call it that. Yeah, it was very. Even though we seen the trailer, we expected it. But when I got in my seat and I was seeing what I was seeing, I was just like, okay,
This
this
kid
is-
is evil.
yeah, this
Right.
is, I don't know, like.
it was,
I guess
like,
I'm
it was
just-
like a mix of Superman and there's an old movie with Macaulay Culkin called The Good,
The Good Son.
Right.
Yeah.
It
Good
was,
son.
it was
Yeah.
those two movies smashed together.
Yeah, it was just like
It was just
okay,
moments
this kid
where
is-
it's like-
I'm scared of him.
Yeah.
It's hard to really trip me up, but there are moments where I was like, it really went there. They
Yeah.
went there. But,
And
you
it was
know, it's
graphic
good.
too.
Yeah,
There
it was
were
absolutely
actually kids
graphic.
in the theater, which
Why bring your kids to
Kinda
this?
scared.
Yeah,
Probably
that
kinda
was
scared
that.
me.
I didn't understand. I had kids right behind me, and I was like, "You guys are objectively bad parents." Just so you guys know,
yes.
Cover your eyes.
Yes.
Little bit.
this isn't accidentally walking into Sausage Party thinking it's an animated film, and then like in 5 minutes in knowing
Yeah,
this
this
is
is-
not a good idea.
This is not. No.
That did happen. That did.
Oh
happen.
yeah, I'm sure.
I would have snuck in the sausage
That
party.
movie was sick. That was a sick movie.
That was a great movie. It was fantastic.
All right, I'm gonna move on. I saw John Wick 3.
That was
Parabellum.
great.
Just some of the best gunplay scenes I've ever seen, man. I mean, you. So basically, John Wick is on the run again.
Again.
Is
By
he still mad about his dog?
by everybody.
Yep.
No, that's been
Well,
done. That's been
I was about
done.
to say.
That's
But,
just a layer.
I haven't seen part 2 yet.
They
so.
killed his third dog.
He is on the run.
was
No,
the
the new dog's still alive, but
Oh, God.
they know better now. They know better.
They
No, he
protect
know
the
better.
dog
He
at all
gave that-
costs.
He gave that dog a gun.
Yeah.
No, Peter would be calling like, "Hey, it's the third time that y'all killed."
But listen, man, John Wick is on the run from every hitman in the world, basically, because he has a hit on his head because of the events that happened in Chapter 2. And basically, that is the story. Like, there isn't much story here. There's just a lot of action. And that's not a bad thing if you love John Wick. It's just, like, some of the best gunplay I've ever seen. Like, homeboy riding on a motorcycle killing people, riding on a horse killing people. He in the sand dunes. Like,
Yeah.
it's outrageous but cold at the same time as to how they
Yeah.
direct it and how Keanu Reeves is just straight man the whole time.
Yeah.
When does it become too much? Like you can only survive so many attempted killings
man.
and
If you
assassinations?
keep being imaginative with the gunplay, then I'll always come to the theater. You know what I'm saying?
Don't we have like
Yes.
9 Fast and Furious movies?
yeah, that's true.
Right.
That is true.
But they
And
keep,
counting. So.
yeah.
And counting and counting.
but Fast and Furious kind of evolved though. It evolved past racing.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah,
first 3 were
yeah.
racing, and then after that it was like,
like-
have you seen that Kermit meme where Kermit's like driving the car in the first one, and then like 3 through 7, it's him with like machine guns. Like that's
Right.
Fast and Furious, but yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna be racing spaceships.
Yeah.
John Wick.
Doesn't the new spin-off have
Hobbs
like
and Shaw?
superpowers or something?
Oh yeah, yeah. Idris
so-
Elba is a super soldier in the new one.
Yeah, they made him a super soldier. They did talk to the Fast and Furious writer. He says, "Man, we ain't going to space. Like, come on,
Yeah.
put some respect on my name. We ain't going to space."
But it sounds like they mixing Marvel with Fast and the Furious. Like, what's going on now?
Well,
Like,
it's selling, man.
Everybody
they'll
is
do a
on
crossover.
the
They're
superhero
doing
wave.
they're doing for
They
sure.
already
for
did
sure.
Race a Submarine. That's right, they did Race a Submarine.
Oh my god,
So
it's too much.
But overall, I loved it, man. John Wick 3, I recommend it. I saw Pet Cemetery at the drive-thru, but I have to see it again because it was a little too dark there. It's a dark movie,
Yeah.
but it was
good movie.
it was too dark and outside and all that.
It was really just the legit remake. I think a few things were like changed.
they
around.
changed some major
wrong
parts.
kid died.
They changed some major
Okay.
parts of that plot. And I'm a big Stephen King movie fan. I thought
You read the books? You read the books?
I did read the books. I do read almost all Stephen King's books. And the books are nothing really like the movie. But and the preview for it 2 came out, so I'm super excited about that.
yeah.
But no, I mean, Pet Sematary 2 was a fantastic send up to the original, with enough plot twists to make me go, okay, that's different, but also not feel like it's so different that it's no longer Pet Cemetery.
Can't relate.
If it
I fell
makes it-
asleep.
yeah.
I thought it was. I
fell
thought it was
asleep,
good
too.
still, even when he
I-
got.
But that was because
I
it was
love
the
horror.
second movie.
I love horror. My wife won't go see horror movies, so I'll go by myself generally to go see that stuff.
Yeah, me too. Same here. Same situation. Okay, so I wanted to get into the movie that I predicted would come out someday. Ma.
How was it?
Dog, man. Listen, man. I've always said Octavia Spencer, if you put her in the right psychopath role, she can play it brilliantly.
Yeah.
Why?
And she did.
Why did you say
kind
that?
of looks
He
psychopathic.
said that. He said that. I
Hey,
can't
man.
remember which show.
I
but he
do.
said
Yeah,
that.
I do.
And she played the film brilliantly. My mouth ain't working. Almost to the point where she was like better than the movie.
Wow.
And that was both a good thing and a bad thing. Like, you're watching it for her, but I feel like the film didn't reach up to her crazy. The film was like a little bit more crazier than she was, but overall, it was just a great horror comedy.
So it left more to be desired, like in terms of the plot.
Wait,
or
horror comedy?
Horror comedy.
Wait, comedy.
It has some comedic moments, and it's like one of those moments where like something that's happening is so outrageous that you just have to like just chuckle, like what the, you know what I mean? Like moments like that.
Interesting.
Yeah, I didn't see a comedy out of that, but like you said, it's so just like.
See, now I might go see it tonight.
I'm going to see it tonight.
have to.
So about 5 o'clock, I'm gonna go see it.
It's outrageous, but it's outrageous in a
There's
good
enough
way.
sunlight when you come
Did
out.
you see it?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, I got to see that. I'm about
I
to see it
saw
next week.
Aladdin.
I saw
Oh,
Aladdin
I saw
too.
Aladdin. Look at that.
How was
I
Aladdin?
was
I
disappointed. I
liked
was
it.
disappointed personally.
I liked it, and I went in with a completely closed mind.
I have been deeply upset by every single live action movie, and here's why. And
Jungle Book?
you go in knowing you're about to see the same movie you've already
Right.
seen.
I
And I went and saw it. I was like, it was okay.
Right, it's
All
not
of
as-
them are literally the same thing.
I agree. It's not as magical as when you saw it as a kid in a cartoon. It's just
Will
like-
Smith. Will Smith is good in the role. I don't know anybody else's name who was in that movie other than Will Smith. But when it comes to the fact that he's also stepping into a role that was iconic by Robin Williams. And
Yeah.
Robin Williams no longer with us. His tragic story. I love Will Smith. I mean, the guy can't fake. The guy
That's
can't
the Heath
fail.
Ledger effect, though, stepping into John Nicholson's place and owning it. Because Will Smith owned it, right?
Yeah, but
not as much as
no, I mean, Heath
wasn't
Ledger
Robin
owned
Williams.
the Joker.
I'll just
Heath
backtrack
Ledger
that
is the
statement.
Joker. Heath Ledger is
I
the
thought
Joker
he did
now.
a good
Jack
job.
Nicholson
I thought
is
he
the
did a
Joker.
good
Jack
job. I thought
Nicholson
As well,
is
as well.
a Joker. He's a Joker.
Yeah.
Don't do that, man.
Not the
Are we
Joker,
doing this
huh?
today?
We're
Are we
gonna do
doing
this.
this?
I hurt your feelings.
We ain't doing this today. Mark
All right,
Hamill
let's
is
go.
the Joker, too.
True story. Okay, that's respect.
And he's the new Chucky.
Is
But,
he?
so,
didn't
yeah,
know
Mark
that.
Hamill is the new Chucky.
How do y'all feel about the
Nope.
new Joker?
We're not talking. New Batman. You talking about the new Batman or new Joker?
New Joker.
Joaquin
Joaquin
Phoenix,
Joker.
Joaquin
We'll
Phoenix
see.
is the man.
We'll see.
I like
Yeah.
him.
Well, and Robert Pattinson is the new Batman.
That's what I thought you were going for.
Robert
Oh,
can
no.
act, man. I mean, look, if y'all just seen Twilight, then y'all probably think not. But if y'all seen Good Time and other stuff he's done, Robert can act.
He's a fantastic actor. I just don't think he's a good Batman, but we'll see. I said the same thing about Ben Affleck. He was actually a good Batman and had shitty, terrible scripts.
I was about
Yeah.
to say that.
Before it came out, I was iffy.
Your mom's name Martha too.
Did I tell you that happened in Endgame? Did you see the episode where I said that happened in Endgame? They had a Martha moment in Endgame. I'll tell you later. But I was iffy about Christian Bale before Batman Begins came out. He did all right.
Yeah, he did. He did
I
more
love
than all
Christian
right. He
Bale.
did a great
I
job.
like
If you've
Voice
seen
change.
what's the movie American Psycho or
American
something?
Psycho.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He killed it in that. He was a young guy
Yeah.
then.
Lost a lot of weight to play that role too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. So Aladdin was solid, huh? You say
I
so?
liked it.
It was okay.
Literally the same movie with the exception of one change pretty much at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
That was it. Which, I mean, if you pay attention to what Disney's doing with girl power,
Yeah,
you know,
they could have named the movie Jasmine.
Yeah, it was
Right.
about Jasmine.
Wow.
So I mean,
That would have been a good name change, though. That would have been solid.
That would have been.
so I
It
mean,
didn't feel natural. I liked what they were trying to do with it, but it felt forced.
I agree.
It wasn't fluid throughout the movie. They just kind of forced it in certain spots. It wasn't a continuing theme throughout the movie.
Yeah.
But I think it feels that way because we have the old source material. If we didn't have the old source material, we wouldn't feel that. But
Sure. I can see
maybe, but that's just me. I
How was
it
the
was
acting?
still a good movie. It was
Was
fine.
it forced?
that. Yeah, no. that
I felt like I was
decent.
watching a live action version of the cartoon. So there was nothing where I was like, "This is terrible acting." I mean, it was like you're watching. I bring less expectation to a live action rendition of a cartoon. I just do.
Okay,
I
so
don't
what do
expect as
you?
much.
Jungle Book surprised me. I like Jungle Book.
And then they had like Jafar in the movie. He had the crisp lineup.
Yeah.
And then-
Jafar
It was
looked too
and the
good.
cartoon- and the-
Jafar looked
but
too
in
good
the-
in this
in the
movie.
cartoon- but in the live action, he didn't shave.
Like,
Right.
I feel like Jasmine would actually want to be with Jafar. Dude. Like,
Right.
Jafar's actually a good-looking man in this movie, and he's like in the old movies like Prince Abu Boo, and you're like he's super
Right.
old looking. You're like, okay, no, I get why she doesn't want him. In this one, I was like, he's fine. I need to go get a haircut.
I'm just hoping the Lion King can live up to my
I was about to
expectations.
bring that
I'm
up.
hoping.
No.
Hey, you got James Earl Jones back. That's all that matters to me.
Yeah.
I think that would be solid. Everybody's freaked out by how Timon looks, or is it Pumbaa? Who's Seth Rogen playing? Seth Rogen's playing Pumbaa, right?
Playing Pumbaa,
Yeah,
yes.
everybody's a
That's
little
a good
surprised by how
placement.
Pumbaa looks.
I don't think Beyonce is a good voice actress.
Uh,
She was in that other cartoon movie. She was like a fairy queen or something.
She just sounded like Beyonce.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, that's Beyonce.
That's Beyonce.
I'm sure
I think
she'll be
Rihanna
fine.
would be a good voice actress.
I think I'll wait to see it before
yeah.
I make notes
Again,
on like
for me, a lot of this
For
stuff,
kids.
a lot of things that
Yeah.
happen in these kind of movies are very forgivable.
Yeah.
because
She
you
did.
were
She did
watching a
home.
live action
Oh,
version. of
yeah,
it.
Yeah, you just
I
gotta
went
you gotta
home.
take it for what it is. It's a live
I
action
don't
version.
expect a lot. I mean, I'm not expecting Braveheart acting from
Right.
from The Lion King.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
I'm not
right.
expecting that. Right?
We're not expecting Andy Serkis as Gollum in the Lion King.
Right. It's true.
Right.
You know what I mean? But go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, y'all, Netflix is continuing to kill it
I
all
was-
day, every day.
Yeah, I gotta clap it up for Netflix. 'Cause
Yeah.
they have been
Did
doing.
anybody see You yesterday?
I saw.
I
Yeah, I saw
saw
See
it,
You
yep.
yesterday.
Wait,
Yeah,
did,
I
ha-
sure
did
did.
that come out this week?
That was like
No, it
last
came
week or
out
2
like
weeks
last
ago.
week.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
So
yet.
that was directed
Yeah.
by
It's on my
Spike Lee.
list. Oh, it's produced by.
produced by Spike Lee.
It was a woman that wrote it though, or
Is
two
that-
people.
Is this
if
the
I'm not
Beatles
mistaken.
movie we're talking about?
Oh no,
No.
this one
That's
is
yesterday.
It's a movie about black kids that create a time machine.
Oh, See You
Yeah.
yesterday.
Yeah, See You
See You
yesterday.
yesterday.
See You yesterday,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
And they go back in time to try to stop a police shooting.
Yes, I
Yeah.
did watch that. I watched it. I was like, this is
too- this is
time
too
travel for
right.
black people. This is literally,
this is what we would do.
If you could go back in time, when would you go? I go to the 1920s. Black people are like, maybe last Tuesday. That's where I'd go.
That's legit what it's like.
Literally what happened.
That's Tom
Seriously.
Bristol.
It's like, all right, y'all.
And
No, but that's the truth. They went back to
Yeah.
last Tuesday to
Yeah.
save
They
to
went back
save
the
their
day.
brother.
They went back the day before. That's basically
Yeah.
what they did. I'm like, that's black people time travel.
Yeah.
Time travel we wouldn't pick certain
for
places
real.
in the past.
Yeah, can
but-
we go to the
No.
future? Can we go? How far
Seriously.
in the future can we go?
People are like, oh, I want to go back to the
Oh.
1800s and experience
Stefan
what it's
Bristol
like.
made it.
No,
yeah.
not.
All right, so See You yesterday. You guys recommended When They See Us. You say you guys recommend that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard nothing but good things.
Yes.
That's
So,
Ava
I don't know if I
DuVernay.
like. It's kind of like Fruitvale Station for me, where I'm only gonna watch it once and I'm not gonna watch it.
It was
Right.
painful.
That's
So-
it.
That
Yeah,
first
that's it.
episode was hard.
So
though.
it's poignant and painful.
Yes.
I didn't
I'm
even
telling you.
get
There's a
through
lot
the
of
first episode because it was like, okay, I got to turn this off.
There's
I'm
a
starting
lot
to
of
get upset.
movies like that
You
though,
know?
where it's a one and done. For me, had nothing to do with us. American History X. That's a one time.
Oh yeah, when
one
my
and
man
done.
get curb
It's a
stomped.
very good
Yeah, the
movie,
curb
too.
stomp. That's done. Schindler's List. I don't need to see that again.
yeah.
I don't got to see it again.
I actually did see that again when it came out in theaters.
I don't,
but,
I don't have to see it again. So I mean,
Yeah.
I'm
there's
a
certain movies like
star.
that.
Oh yeah.
But when it comes to replaying black trauma, like generally there's a lot. There's one movie I haven't even finished. It's the Hate U Give.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
I couldn't do it. I could not do
Yeah.
it. When the cops show up at the restaurant and start messing
Yeah.
with this girl, I'm like, I'm done. Can't
Yeah.
watch it.
You-
Cannot finish it.
Have you guys watched? Are you guys into She's Gotta Have It on Netflix?
No.
haven't
it's
really
on
gotten
my
to it.
list. It's
I
on my
tried
list.
It's,
so hard.
They basically go on Twitter, take conversations that are happening on Twitter, and put it in a script. They do that. For
I
I gotta
She's
put more
Gotta
respect
Have
on
It.
Spike Lee's name.
They do that for She's Gotta
Yeah.
Have It.
I
and
gotta
they
put
do
more
it-
respect on
and
his
they
name.
do
I
that
can't just
for
say
Dear
that.
White People.
I can't just say that.
Dear White People was great though. I like
White
the
People
movie
is
and the
great.
show.
It
I
is
like
a
the
great-
I like the movie
show.
better than the show.
I like
The
the
movie's
movie
way better than the
too.
show.
Yeah.
But the show gets to
better than the
dive.
show? I
The
like the
show
movie
gets to
better.
dive
I like
in.
them both equally.
The show gets to dive into things that you couldn't in a 2-hour span of
true.
time with a movie.
More character development. too.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
But okay, so When They See Us, See You yesterday.
Oh, another good one. Always Be My Maybe.
Oh,
That was-
I
I haven't
didn't
seen it
watch
yet.
it.
I haven't
Waiting
seen
for
it yet.
that.
It was a
We
really
can't
good
talk
one.
about that
Yeah.
one yet. I want
I
to see
didn't
it
watch
today.
it yet. either,
Randall
but I
Park
do
and
wanna watch
Ali
it.
Wong.
Yep.
Yeah, and I love her. I love her on American Housewife. She's
Yeah,
so
she's good.
funny. My wife and I watch that show. She's great on that show.
So I think this is like one of the first Asian American rom-coms I've seen in maybe ever. Like,
You didn't
Crazy
have
Rich
Rich
Asians?
well, other than
Yeah,
Crazy Rich
Asians
Asians,
is
like,
fantastic.
all right,
just
the
jumped on
second,
him.
the second. God, all right. God.
I was calm. Like, what about Crazy Rich Asians?
Fresh
God.
off the boat every single week that show comes on.
Well, it's a television show. It's different between a movie and it. But it was really good. I liked it. I don't want to give too much away because I know you haven't seen it yet. But yeah, it's solid. I will say one of my favorite of the weekend I saw.
Okay.
Was
of the
maybe really?
Yeah.
Which one?
Who saw? Oh, go ahead.
Oh, and I was gonna say, Always Be My Maybe was my favorite of the weekend.
Okay.
I saw Godzilla.
Okay, so
Okay. Oh,
okay,
what did you think
so how was that?
Garbage.
Really?
Oh.
First off, we know what happened in Godzilla. Why do we need another remake of Godzilla?
Well,
I thought it was going to be
Everything's a
Godzilla
remake.
versus
What's
King
the original?
Kong.
That's the next. That is the next one. So all of this is a vehicle to get Kong versus Godzilla. That is it, and it will be exactly what happened in the Avengers movie. Hey, let's all fight. Wait, we're on the same team. Maybe we should fight the real bad guy. That's exactly what Kong versus versus Godzilla is going to end up
Listen,
being.
I'm done with
Let's
it.
skip all the preambles and get to the fight.
Yeah,
all
this
right?
middle one, it was like, okay, Godzilla's back. So you did Godzilla, then you did Kong. Now you're doing Godzilla King of the Monsters, and you're literally taking every Godzilla movie that ever existed and putting every single bad guy he ever fought into this one movie.
Wasting time.
That
and
looks
money.
good on
That's what-
paper.
that's what
That
they
looks
did.
good on paper.
I fell asleep and then woke up and I was like, all right, cool. City's destroyed. Expected that. Now for the last fight.
Oh, my
Watch
God.
it. I was like, okay, this is cool. I want to see Kong versus Godzilla for just a few minutes before they team up against whoever the real bad guy is.
So basically, what you're
It was
saying
okay.
is,
It was not a great movie.
since everybody liked the visual effects, you're saying it's a beautiful piece of shit.
Yeah, let's just put it this way.
It's Avatar.
I have Apple A-list. I'm glad I have that because
Right.
I can go see those
I have
three,
A-list
AMC
too.
A-list.
three movies
Yeah.
a week. It's like, hey,
I'm about
Yeah.
to download this.
hey, I was only gonna go see 3 movies this week anyway.
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't feel like I wasted a lot of money. It's just time. I can't get that
We
back.
actually
but
used
whatever.
ours up this week,
Yeah.
which never happens.
Normally in the summer
Yeah.
it does for me, but you know,
Yeah.
it is what it is.
I
Okay.
went to see Intruder. Me and Benny went
How
to
was
see
that one?
Intruder. So I didn't expect it to be good.
Right.
So we got in there and it started to be really good. In fact, the fire alarm went off in the movie. So just at the climax,
Oh no!
the
What-
fire alarm went off and the movie went off and we just all had to leave the movies.
What?
So it's left me with the I have to see this. So as soon as I got home, I tried to turn on the fire stick to find it. It was not there.
Oh,
It's
no.
not clear yet.
I can't find it everywhere.
Allegedly, it's not clear yet.
Did they give you a refund for that though?
No, but we're just gonna go back and say we go to the AMC Grasher and that's
So I heard.
I would
So
have
you go to
demanded
the
it.
same
I
one
heard-
go to. Okay. all right.
yeah.
So
yeah.
I heard Dennis Quaid is to that movie what Octavia Spencer was to Ma.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, all right.
No, exactly. I mean, I didn't see mine. We're gonna see it later on today, but yes, it was just but it still had you on the edge of your seat. And Dennis Quaid, I think he played his role very well. So
Okay, sounds good. Sounds
so-
good.
How was the acting in terms other than Dennis Quaid? Who played the
Megan
Megan
Good
Good.
and Michael Ealy.
How was Megan Good in the movie?
She played a wife who was
She was a wife.
She was a wife.
She was Megan Good.
she didn't play. I mean, how do I say this? They didn't give her a lot to go off of. It
Okay.
was basically just I'm not that smart. I'm just being really nice. So yeah, Dennis Quaid can come in at 12 o'clock at night because you're not here.
Oh my god.
And
Right.
I need help putting up these Christmas lights. Yeah, so
Right.
come on in, have a drink, and possibly kill me. No,
So it's better than When the Bow Breaks, Perfect Guy, Obsessed, and all that good stuff.
it's definitely worth the watch. I'm gonna definitely say that. I mean, I didn't finish the movie,
No, you're good.
but it's worth the watch. I'm trying to find it. So
Has anyone seen Booksmart yet? I want to see that.
I
I
want to
gotta
see
see
that
that.
too.
Oh.
no desire to see that movie.
that looks like a female super bad.
I'm looking forward to
I've
it.
heard it was. I've seen reviews on it, and people are saying, that's the realm that it's falling in. And
Yeah.
also, do you watch Chris Stuckman, who does movie reviews?
No.
He pretty much said that it was the female super
Yeah, see,
bad.
I have a hard time with mook comedies. The mook comedy for me is all right, because I'm older now. I'm 40. I'm almost 40 at this point. I've moved away from your mook comedy. So whether it's a super bad, whether it's this new Booksmart, whether it's old school. I mean, old school's a classic, but
Yeah.
whether I'm just getting away from that weird bridesmaid humor.
Now, what do you mean,
where I'm
mook?
just done. Mook is it
Grown people acting like
it-
kids.
yeah,
Coming of
it
age.
appeals to the lowest common denominator sense of humor in all of us as adults. So it's still your middle school
I don't
humor.
think that's
It's your
what
middle.
book
It's,
smart
Fart
is.
dick joke.
Like-
it's your middle school. It's your middle school humor
That
that
sounds
we
like
still
a
find
sex
funny.
drive,
There's-
not like a.
Like any
So-
Adam Sandler movie.
So my brother
or-
lives in a country. My brother lives in a country in Africa called Djibouti. I say Djibouti to grown ass adults, and they still laugh. That's what I mean. And it's appealing to that part of our psyche. So for me, those kind of movies no longer hold much appeal.
I would disagree with you because
That's
I feel
fine.
like
That's
a
fine.
film like Superbad had heart to it, and it had heart and warmth to it. It wasn't just like
It could have heart. Braveheart had heart. Like,
that's not a comedy though.
I know. I'm just
But I
saying.
feel like so did you feel this way when Superbad first dropped? Did you feel like, this is a moot comedy, or did you enjoy
Mainly
it?
because with the moot comedy, I feel like heart is always crammed in as an afterthought at the end of the movie. Like they have to have learned something in this movie. It
That's
can't
John
just
Hughes.
be.
That's the
you tie
John
the bow
Hughes
in it.
formula.
I love it. I really love
John Hughes
the
still appealed to
idea.
my family side of things. Your bridesmaid, your super bad. It's just like, hey, everything's super dirty. It's funny. Let's get a cheap laugh, and then there's some lesson they learned at the very end. It's shoehorned in. It's shoehorned in.
But I think when you get the reverse of that, it turns out to be funny people with Adam Sandler and Seth Rogen. Y'all seen that? Where it's like there's like drama throughout and still a mix of comedy and it's a little uneven. So I mean, it's kind of a hard thing to do that. But I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, I say one of my favorite comedies of all time, perfect comedy, Click.
Oh,
Click
God.
is good.
Click is fantastic. He learns a lesson all the way through, and
That's one and done movies for me.
Right, that's for sure when it's done, yeah.
But if you look at it in terms of smart comedy with the lesson woven throughout, where you're not like this was shoehorned in at the end, that was a perfect.
But you
movie
still
for
got
me.
that classic stupid Adam Sandler comedy
yeah.
in there though.
True.
So
It was stupid, but it wasn't like this is shoehorned in at the end as an afterthought. It was throughout the movie. So if it's natural to the story, I'm good. But
As far as Adam Sandler goes, I feel like all of his you have like his stupid comedy, and then you have Click and like Spanglish and Spanglish even a
Rain on Me.
Yeah,
It's like
was
a
definitely
drama,
comedy.
Yeah.
That was dramedy.
yeah. So I think he does really well with those though. He actually has a new one coming out with Jennifer Aniston
Another one, yeah.
on Netflix, and I think that's gonna be good. But I think he does really well with those. And I don't mind the whole the idea of those coming of age comedies,
Right.
just because it kind of brings us back to that,
I guess I already came of age, so
Yeah.
the further away I
Yeah.
get from it, I'm like,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We need
Okay.
I'm 40
Coming
now.
up.
Yo, give me a 40-year-old
Coming of
version.
age comedy.
Did you
for
guys
millennials that's about to be 40?
by any chance see Wine Country?
Oh, I've only seen half of it.
I only
just
seen
a
a
little
little
bit,
bit.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So far. Yeah.
I wasn't
Yes,
that
admit.
impressed.
Do I
It
finish
was
it? I won't be
a little
upset if I don't.
stale.
Yeah.
A little stale.
I will
Maybe
s-
we're not there yet.
I will say I'm looking forward to Black Mirror. Comes
Oh,
out
yeah,
June
but-
5th.
Couple days from now, yeah.
couple of days from now. So
only
that's
3 episodes. long
only
this
3,
time.
but hopefully it's
He's
like
taking it
12
back to the
episodes.
old days, to the old seasons. Only 3
There were
episodes.
6 episodes.
I would
in
say,
the
yeah, it was
first-
6
there were
episodes in the
in the
first.
first season. But these episodes are like an
Well, I
hour
mean,
and a
that's
half
how the
long,
British
if I'm not
seasons
mistaken.
are,
They're
though.
I think they're gonna be a little bit longer.
The British don't play. They like, we're going to give you 4
Speaking
episodes.
of Black
a
Mirror, there's
season,
actually a
that's
game.
And each
It's a Black
episode
Mirror
gonna be
game?
90
There's a
minutes.
game based on the episode with the social status.
Oh, okay. All right. Any last minute wrap ups that you all want to have? I wouldn't say though. For me personally, I'm looking forward to just the continued success of Netflix. I'm going to continue to wave their flag because they are providing some of the best content I've seen in a while.
My mom gonna start helping me out with the bill though.
Yeah, because it's getting expensive now. I'm like, all right,
Yeah, what
Ma.
is it, like 16?
It went up to like
$16?
15. What?
I
13
paid
or
for the
14.
one
Hey,
for
Ma, don't get no
multiple
ideas.
people, so yeah. I think it's worth it though because
It's worth it.
you get quality. I mean, now you get quality content. It's not like back in the day when you were paying $7 and it was just like, okay, this is
It's just old
Yeah.
movies,
Right.
old
Yeah.
TV shows.
yeah, or it was a point. It was a point in time where we could say like, oh, this is a Netflix movie,
Yeah.
So
and
we're
that
reigning
makes
in a
up
new
for it.
era. Calvin, thank you for
Thank you,
joining us.
Calvin.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Calvin.
having
Paige,
me.
thank you
Sorry
for
if I
joining us.
monopolized too much.
Thanks for having us.
Talk,
You're
obviously.
always welcome back.
Yeah, so please like and share, like us on Facebook. We're looking forward to talking to you again, more in-depth conversations. We see you again soon.
69, noise.